Okay, so now that you have learned a little bit more about adding and deleting slides, adding text boxes and images, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to use some animations in your presentations to make them more engaging. So in order to do that, we're going to start you off by adding images and text again. So once again, you can either add text by going to Insert and Text Box, or you've got this little icon here in your toolbar that is text box, and you're going to click and drag. Now I actually have a black background, so I'm going to want to change the font so I can be able to read it. And I'm originally from Michigan, so I'm going to write about Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. It is the Great Lakes state. Okay, so there's my text. I'm going to make this shorter. I don't need it quite as long. And maybe I want to go ahead and center align that. And I'm actually going to make it into 2 lines. So there's my text box, and I'm going to add some images to this. Now we can either go to Insert Image right there and there, or we can go to this little mountainous icon, which is Image, and that pulls up a search. Obviously, if I didn't want to search Michigan, it would come up looking like this. You can also go through your Google Drive, things that have been shared with you, etc. I'm going to go back to that search area, and I'm going to type in Michigan. And as you could see earlier, there were some things already pulled up. So let's see. I like this particular picture with the lakes on it. So I'll implement that. I want to resize it so it's not humongous. There's our first picture. And our second picture, or I guess I should say image, let's choose another one. This is a nice one. Obviously, Michigan is known for their lakes, so here's a nice sunset. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now I have a text box and 2 images, and now we're going to add animations. Now there's 3 different ways to do some animations on your slides. The first way I'm going to share with you is, obviously you're going to select the picture that you want to animate, and you can right click it and you'll press animate from that menu, and up pops a menu on the right side, and it talks to you about what you want to do, and I'll go in through that a little bit more in detail in a second. I'm going to X that out. Another way to start animations is to once again select the picture you want to animate, and you're going to go to Insert, and animation is also an option here, and once again that same animation is going to come up there. And the last method that you're going to use is on your regular toolbar up here. If I just click elsewhere on the slide, I'm not really selecting anything. You have these options. Remember the first video we went over background, layout, and theme? Well, now you also have a transition. So I'll click that. And so right now we already have a transition, and basically what that is that you're moving the actual slide when you start presenting. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. I'm not actually going to have this transition here. Well, I guess I'll show you what it is, I guess. No, I don't want a transition. Sorry. So no transition for this particular slide, but I do want to work on the animation of this particular picture. Now, when the slide comes up, I want this picture to fly in from the right, and that's when I click the mouse. Now, you have different options, obviously after previous or with previous, but I want to do it when I click the mouse. And I want it to come about a medium speed. Then I want this Michigan picture or the Michigan map to show up, and that way I am going to select it, and I'm going to press Add Animation, and that one is going to fly in from the left, and I'm going to do that right after the sunset picture appears. All right, I can move the speed as well. And then after that, finally, I'm going to select my text box. I'm going to press Add Animation, and that is going to fade in. You could also do zooming in and things like that, but I'm going to do fade in. and that's going to be after previous as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and press play so we can preview what this will look like. So here it goes. And remember, I have to click. There's my sunset. There is my map, and then I also had my text box show up. So another way that you can preview this, you have to press stop before you can do anything else, is that you can go up here to present, and now it's loading. So remember, I had to click to begin. There's my sunset. There's my picture of the map and my text box. I'm going to exit that. So we have some animations. Now, remember when I said that we could add a transition? We didn't have a transition to this one. So I'm going to add a new slide. And this is just going to be labeled second slide. And we'll do a text box. Remember, you have to change the font color so you can see it. Michigan is so cool. I love to swim in the lakes. All right, so there's my text box, and I'll quickly add another image. And let's do swimming in lake and see what comes up. Okay, so we have a picture of somebody swimming in a lake. Let's see if I can use it. Sometimes you get an error. Okay, so we're going to make sure that that is smaller. Now, we have no transition here. I'm going to add a transition. I am going to have it flip, and we'll do a medium. And then I will start going through and add some animations again. How about we do zoom in after the previous, and I'm also going to add another animation with that particular thing, and I want it to spin after the previous, okay? Then I want this image, remember you have to select the image first, then add animation, and I want that to fly in from the bottom after the previous, and I also want it to then fade out slowly after the previous. All right, so we're going to start from the very beginning now, so you can see what that transition, remember we had a transition of flipping from the first slide to the second slide, it's supposed to flip. So let's see if we can see that happen. So I'm going to present, and I need to click for the first image to appear. And here we go. We're going to the next slide. There's our flip and our second slide, zooming in and spinning. There's our picture, and now it's fading. Okay, so now you get the idea, and I'm just going to show you one more slide that I've put together. This one's from All About North Carolina. I've already done the animations for you. I've got, we can actually do a cube, so you can see what that looks like, and then some animations fading in, flying in, and spinning and things like that. So I will take you through that one as well. We'll start at the second slide this time and present. There's some of our animations, and now we're going to go to the next slide, and there we go. All About North Carolina, spinning, and eventually it's going to fade out. So as you can see, there's lots of different things that you can do for animation purposes using Google Slides.